Hi loves, Beth here. I'm coming to you from where the forest meets the ocean. It's a really, really magical spot where I am. We'll just pan around so you can see a little bit more about where I am. That's the ocean right there. The lighting isn't too awesome with it, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's a really beautiful spot. It's about a 10-minute walk, 5-minute walk actually from my house. This is Tonquin Beach, Tonquin Park. It's kind of my backyard, and I'm really, really fortunate. I came here 4 or 5 years ago for my first time and totally fell in love, and now I get to call this place home and walk in the ocean every day, and it's so amazing. So I just wanted to share that bit with you. So today I wanted to talk to you about self-doubt. It's something I'm sure you can all relate to, and I wanted to share a personal story, something that I'm going through, and give you some tips on what to do with your own voices of self-doubt and how to work through them. So I'm working on my brand new website right now. It's almost done, and I'm really, really excited about it. I've been really, really excited about working on it. It feels really, really good. I got new photography done. I got clear on who I want to help, and I'm sort of like taking my work to the next level. It really feels like that. But still, when I'm working on it, there's like these voices after like a couple hours of like getting in the zone and being really excited that say, well, is this good enough? And a lot of the times they're not like super like conscious voices that say blaringly like, is this good enough? It's more like the subconscious feeling of like, oh, is this right? I don't know if it's good enough. I feel kind of like stuck here, and I don't know if it's like, you just kind of feel sticky. And so basically this video, I wanted to talk to you about how to deal with that. How do you deal with that? Whether it's a website that you're working on, whether it's a creative project, whether it's a message that you want to get out there, whether it's just your daily life and just doing the normal things that you do, at your work or in friendships, and having voices of self-doubt that come on and have that feeling of like, ooh, I don't know, is that good enough? The first things first, those voices don't actually mean that you're doing anything wrong, okay? Everyone deals with voices of self-doubt, no matter how, inspirational or motivational or in that zone of their spirituality and self-love they are. Everyone deals with voices of self-doubt. Some of us have them louder than others. Some of us have more, unpeeling of our layers to do than others because we're all at different parts of our path, and we've all had, different experiences growing up. And some of us have been raised in families that were really encouraging and supportive, and some of us have been raised in ways that have really sort of torn us down and taken away from our self-esteem. So everyone's at different spots of their journey, but everyone deals with the voices of self-doubt. I see this with like my clients. I see, especially when we first start to work together, there's a lot of the self-doubt has actually created a story that now forms excuses. So the self-doubt says, well, I'm not, I don't have enough education, so I probably really shouldn't be, speaking about this kind of stuff until I have that education. So I'm not gonna do this right now. I'm not gonna get my message out right now. I'm gonna wait about a year before I do that. And eventually the self-doubt of saying, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, creates stories that we actually believe in, and then we base our lives around. So when you're dealing with self-doubt, realize that these voices aren't actually truthful. These voices aren't telling you truthful things, okay? A lot of us listen to the voices of self-doubt. If I listened to the voice of self-doubt last night, when I'm working on my website, I would have said, oh, I can't do this. I need to start over from scratch, or I need more training. I need to take that workshop again on how to, craft my message in a way that's magnetic. I need to stop it and clear it out and do it over again because it's, not good enough, and I know I can get to that better state. Well, of course I can do better. We can always do better, but we need to be okay with where we're at. I love the quote or the mantra, done is better than perfect. So work with that when you are trying to create something in your life. Done or authenticity is better than perfect. Authenticity is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. So really allow yourself to understand that the voices of self-doubt are not actually saying the truth. They're just a part of our journey. So I'm going to give you 3 steps that you can use, 3 tools that you can use when you have the voices of self-doubt that come up. And eventually you can get to a space where self-doubt is actually kind of interesting. At this point in my life, on my journey, self-doubt is interesting. It's kind of juicy because it shows me the way. It shows me where the work that I have to do is, and it also reminds me that I really need to allow myself to get off the hook even more and love myself even deeper. And that's a really, really good reminder to have. So those voices of self-doubt can actually be really, really helpful. So there's 3 steps that I want you to take with self-doubt when it comes up for you, wherever you're at on your journey and whatever parts of your life. Some parts of your life might be like totally good, you're on it, and some parts of your life may be riddled with self-doubt. So the first one is share your story, share your vulnerability, share the doubts that are going on, either with a sister, a supportive sister, a best friend, a family member, or your tribe, your online tribe. You know, whether you want to have a one-on-one conversation, so I'm just going to switch the camera, it's kind of hard to hold it the whole time. Whether you want to have a one-on-one conversation with someone that's really just going to support you and listen to you and say, you know, I've been really feeling the self-doubt come up lately, I've really questioned myself about this, etc., etc., and you just get it out. Or you share a story, you write a blog post if you're into doing that online right now, if you've created a platform for doing that, or even a Facebook post. You don't need a website or a blog. You can just write a Facebook post or write it on Instagram. You know, this is what's coming up for me right now. I'm not feeling really confident in this area of my life, but I know, you know, that I'm truly lovable at the, you know, at the depths of it, and I'm really, you know, working through this. So on and so on and so forth. You can create whatever story you want around that, but the first step is to share. What this does is it allows you to feel connected. It allows you to feel heard and like you have support and like you're not alone, because there's going to be so many people, whether you're having a one-on-one conversation or whether you're putting it out online, they can say, oh dude or dudette, I can totally relate to you. I'm there with you. The other part about sharing this vulnerability and this self-doubt is it frees other people from having to be perfect or pretend to be perfect or have it all together. When you have a conversation with a girlfriend and you let her know really what's going on in your sphere, sometimes things are great and sometimes you have self-doubt. You build a level of trust. You build a level of trust with that girlfriend, and you allow her to feel more comfortable in coming to you with her own stuff, as well as, let's talk about online and with your marketing or your messaging or whatever it is, your truth. When you put it out online, you also have that greater level of trust with whoever you're connecting with online, that they realize, oh, yeah, they're totally a real person, and I feel that too. I feel heard, I feel supported, and we're in this together. And that instantly, you go from self-doubt that is just totally in your own mind and sort of crippling you to sharing it, and all of a sudden you feel connected, you feel inspired because you're one, you're a part of a tribe, you know that other people are going through it too, and it really increases this level of support. Authenticity is so important right now, especially like as we're going online and there's so much stuff online where we can pretend that we have it all together, and a lot of people feel like they need to pretend, even in friendships, that they pretend that they need to have it all together in order to be loved or in order to be viewed in a certain way. And we can really give ourselves permission to just let go of that. And authenticity is the sexiest. Authenticity is the most powerful. Authenticity is what's going to connect us. And is what help to free us, because we need to talk about that stuff. Okay, I'm going to try to remember my steps, my 3 steps, because I didn't write them down. I don't have a notebook with me. Okay, first step was sharing it. Second step is connect with the voices of self-doubt. So rather than push them away and be like, I'm not listening to you, fuck that, fuck you, I'm going to like do this. That's more for like step number 3. But first, we want to listen, because we are whole beings. We're already whole beings, and every part of our journey guides us to have a fuller understanding of who we are, where we're coming from, and gives us an opportunity to love all parts of ourselves. So really the journey of a light worker is to love all parts of ourselves, not to deny some parts of ourselves and love what we think is worthy and good, but to love all parts of ourselves. So sit in meditation or sit with your journal, get quiet and ask questions. Where is the self-doubt coming from? How can I heal this self-doubt? How can I love this self-doubt? How can I send love to this self-doubt and say, you are worthy? That self-doubt might be your 3-year-old child who got denied over and over for what they wanted in life. You know, you reached for that toy that you wanted to play with and your mom shouted at you. No, don't do that. You know, you reached for that coloring book that you were like really inspiring. No, it's dinner time, not now. And so you end up having these voices later on in your life where you're always telling yourself no, you know, going for what you want. No, you can't have that. And so if you have a moment and you have a meditation and have journaling sessions where you ask yourself and you just ask your subconscious, what's going on here? Where is this coming from? You might be able to see, and you will be able to see, the true roots of the causes of self-doubt. When we deal with the root cause of self-doubt, we release it so much quicker than if we're just getting involved in the symptoms of it, right? So in meditation this morning, I saw myself as a baby and actually saw my mother coming from a fight with my father and then going to pick me up and nurse me, and having all of that energy come into me as this child. So that was really important for me to see, and in that way I can have a better understanding of where this is coming from, and I can send light directly to the source. I can send light to myself as a baby. I can visualize white light pouring on myself, on my mother, and I can have more compassion for myself, okay? And if you need any help with this process, ask your angels. Your angels are totally real and totally there for you. Say, Archangel Michael, please help me understand the voices of self-doubt. How can I release them and love them even deeper? It's all about loving these parts of ourselves, because in loving ourselves, we return all parts of ourselves to the truth, and we return to wholeness. Like, we already are whole, but we remind ourselves of that. Number 3 is to, once you've done the, first couple of steps, or at least one of the steps, share it with a sister, share it with your tribe, and meditate on them, and start to have a deeper understanding of where they're coming from, is that step of, fuck it, let's go, let's move on, do it anyway. So in my case, fuck it, let's go, move on, do the website anyway. You're good enough, you're worthy enough, you can always change it later if you need to. I love you, you're awesome, fuck it, let's go, this is totally good enough. And you just want to really bring in those affirmations of like, yeah, I'm worthy, this is so awesome, I'm receiving, this is the best ever. Hi.
Hi. You didn't interrupt.
Oh yeah, that's okay. So I will leave you with that, and have the best day ever.